Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF44. So, I guess what's going on in my life right now is a lesson that I'm learning from others. Not necessarily anything that I'm doing, but the lesson I'm learning is if you run your own business and you have employees that do a lot, work with them. Work with them if possible. You don't want to give them free reign to do whatever they want. But if they hold their weight in a way that it's very difficult to replace them, um, try to make them happy as best you can. Um, and this goes in contract negotiations as it pertains to other things as well. Just making sure that you have somebody who holds their weight. I was listening to a podcast, Joe Budden's podcast, and he was talking about what he's going through with Spotify and his negotiations. It's a pretty big deal if you've been following it. He's been basically airing them out on the tail end of his tenure there. He's telling everybody, I'm out of here. Things are not going the way I want them to. They didn't offer me something that I could respect. Blah blah blah. But the majority of what I gathered from that is kind of on a much greater scale what I'm dealing with, which is if you hold your weight, if you are making way more than you're projected to make in this situation, shattering the numbers, you shouldn't have to fight to be comfortable. You shouldn't have to fight for what you're worth, and you shouldn't feel like you being told that your contributions are only but so much appreciated. So I kind of feel that way to a degree on a much lesser scale. And it just seems like what I'm doing isn't enough despite being somebody who does hold his weight. I'm able to do these videos and things like that because I have downtime at this job. But what people won't see, and it doesn't matter that you do see, is that I'm responsible for delivering packages that come to this complex. It's about 8 buildings, 4 floors each, about 20 units each. It's during a pandemic and everybody's ordering everything. Yes, we do have mail carriers that deliver as well, but a good portion of the packages do not get delivered. Your postal service does not deliver packages in complexes like this, so anything that comes here that can't go into a mailbox, I'm tasked with delivering it along with anybody else who will help me with my position, which sometimes I have like guards that will help. It's only 2 guards at a time, but we have had a great deal of turnover as well, which gives me some sense of my own leverage. It's like, they have a turnover that's absolutely turnstiles. Like I've been here for maybe 4 months and I've worked with like 4 different guards. So it's like I'm here. The last guard who was here made it clear to me that he was making more than me, accidentally slipped and told me what he was making. I took offense, not to him telling me obviously, but to the idea of it, because I took on this position knowing that it was a specialty position. But since the job allows for a lot more time, they've asked me to do other things. And the other things that they've asked me to do was regular guards' jobs. So now I'm doing what everybody else does and my job, and I'm making less than everyone else. And now it's like, okay, I have my own little routine because there's the way that this place is set up. I was getting here later and leaving earlier, which is on me. I need to be better, and I was tasked with being better, and that's fine. So I started coming on time, and I try to leave on time. I usually want to get out of here before my shift ends because of how traffic is in Los Angeles. If you know LA, 15 minutes early can get you where you want to go in 15 minutes. If you leave 15 minutes late, you may take an hour to get there. That's just how traffic flows here. It's very strange, but it's very predictable. Once you start getting enough drives in, you'll start realizing what you need to do and how you need to do it. For me, if I want to get home in a reasonable hour, a reasonable time, leaving here at about 5:35 is ideal for me to get home by 6 and miss that 6 o'clock traffic. So I try to get out of here by that time. I try to make sure everything I have is done. And if I have packages left over, I am certain to take care of them the next day because, it's my responsibility and I do that. And most recently, someone sent a text to the security office saying that I left early and left packages. and left themselves what's the word? Anonymous. They didn't want to say who it was that was who sent the text. So at this point, it's like, okay, well, somebody wanted me to know that somebody else wanted me to get in trouble or do my job better, or however else you want to interpret that. And the type of person I am, I don't really care about haters, bro. I don't think about people who don't know me but want me out of here. I haven't had any bad confrontations with anybody. I haven't had any energy toward anybody that I would consider to be worthy of that kind of response. So in my opinion, it's just somebody sees me and doesn't like me, and you could take that however you want. But I haven't gotten into it with nobody, so I don't know why that type of energy would happen. I also had somebody tell me, and again, this is always somebody telling me, which tells you somebody's funneling energy. Somebody wants me to think a certain way. Somebody's telling me that another human being lied on me and on another guard and said that we had been sitting in a break room for an hour together. And I'm like, that literally never happened. I sat down with homeboy at the end of a shift for 10 minutes one day, and I guess that person saw us sitting there and decided to express that he saw us sitting there for an hour. So clearly somebody here wants me to be uncomfortable. Somebody here wants me to quit. And it's just like when you do as much as I do, when you deliver as many packages as I do, when you don't ask for no help, when you also do other people's jobs, and you're getting paid less, it gets to a point where it's like every single day you wonder why you keep coming back to a place. You know what I mean? Like, and for me, it's like I like being here. It's in Marina Del Rey. It's a pretty city area to live in, right by the water. 85% of the people I see, I get along with. We have good interactions. There are people up here that I've grown to really appreciate. People in the office, I get along with everybody. I'm really one of those people that have a bubbly personality, you know what I mean? All this stuff that you see on here, that's not how I am in person. I'm very nice. I'm not confrontational. I'm not going around sticking my blackness in people's faces. It's just not who I am. I try to be as nice as I can to animals and children and people alike, elderly, all the good stuff, man. And I just got a feeling that somebody doesn't like that energy. They don't like that. Maybe they sense there's another side of me that I'm not showing or whatever. I don't see that as fake. I just see that as keeping the morale high. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, nobody needs to know about your beliefs and ideals when you have to live amongst one another every day. If we don't agree on those ideals, then we probably shouldn't even start those conversations. And that's how I live my life. I don't walk around telling, hey, this is what you need to feel. Nah. That's what my YouTube channel's for. That's what my social media platform's for. My professionalism doesn't have an opinion about certain things. I just go forward and I do my job and I treat everybody the way I feel in my heart to treat them, which is usually very, very, very kind. And maybe somebody doesn't like that, whatever. You can jump to whatever conclusions you like. I don't have any information to tell you, but I can tell you that it's gotten to a point where I feel like I'm not appreciated here. And with the company as well, just overall, the fact that they're not paying me, haven't offered me a raise. I've been here for almost a year. You know what I mean? And it's just, it gets to a point where you have to start really planning out your exit strategy from a space like this. And I haven't wanted to do it. I'm the type of person that's routine based. I love getting a rhythm of a routine and keeping it, and the consistency of it all. And it took me a little while to get used to the routine that I have with this job. It's very, very unique because I get up early in the morning to work out and then go back to sleep before it's time to come to work. So that routine took a while, and now that I've gotten it, I don't really want to break it, despite not really wanting to feel the way that I do coming here at this point. And it is what it is, man. It just seems like everybody's trying to keep me on my toes, but without me, they can't keep the packages delivered on time. It's like, that's what I came here to initially say. When you have somebody that does things that you need done, don't make them want to go away. Don't make them feel like they're not welcome when you know that they're the only ones that can do what it is that they do. Now, that doesn't mean let them do whatever they want. That doesn't mean that they're not supposed to be held accountable. That doesn't mean that you let them get comfortable. And it certainly doesn't mean that you fall on the sword to see that they're comfortable. So I'm not asking my bosses or my superior to do that. That's not the position I'm taking. I'm just simply saying, overall, whatever this energy is, whatever this is that's coming upon me to make me feel like that I'm not wanted, I think it's a mistake from a business standpoint because you're not going to find too many people to do what I do. Um, and so that's just what I came here to say. You know, I have to get up and go do some things that otherwise wouldn't have been necessary. To be honest with you, right now, gotta go, and it just speaks to the imbalance of it all, and not imbalance, how it seems as if I'm supposed to be kept off balance is what I'm trying to say. It seems like someone wants me to not be comfortable. And you know, when you walk around with black skin, it's always easy to jump to the conclusion that somebody doesn't like you for that reason. And that's part of the issue that we have in this country right now. You can't really look at these type of situations and rule that out automatically when you wear this skin. Um, can't may be the wrong word, but it's very difficult for me to do. And you know the times we're in. You know how strongly people feel. And quite frankly, a lot of the people here don't look like me. And so I know that with that comes certain ideals that probably don't fit how I feel in some cases. And then sometimes it's going to be people who look at me, smile at me, or like me a lot, and then deep down hate my people for reasons that don't have anything to do with our interactions. And they may like me, but may see me as one of the good ones, and will ultimately not support me fully, simply because of how I look. And that's just part of the notion of walking around with this skin color. Even if that isn't the case, it's always somewhere in the back of your mind or even in the forefront of it, especially in these times. And I think that's what I'm dealing with. I do. I think that's what I am dealing with here. It doesn't make me feel bad because at the end of the day, it's just a job, you know, and the fact that it doesn't pay much means that it doesn't have much weight in my life in terms of me not being able to replace it. Like I said, I bring to the table what's going to be more difficult to replace than the job is for me to replace. I know that with the guards that I've worked with, not only here, but at the other place that I was at, you're going to be hard pressed to find anyone to put up with this pay for this work. They're lucky to have me. And I'm not saying it in a cocky space. I'm just like looking at what I'm making, looking at how long I've been here making this, and then looking at what I'm tasked to do, and then looking at the resistance I get from my comfort. Yeah, I ain't gonna put up with, not too many people gonna put up with that, fam. And so, like, I'm officially going on the record saying it's time for me to look for something else. And I'm officially sitting here saying that I don't really appreciate how I've been treated in this regard. Again, there are some things I need to do differently. I will always hold myself accountable and say, yo, there are some things that I can do different. But overall, the comings and goings and what I do while I'm here, if there are no packages available, I should not be tasked with doing jobs that I'm not paid to do. And I shouldn't be harassed about how I operate when what I do gets done no matter what. And when I'm not here, what I do doesn't get done no matter what. That's the truth. I remember I took an extra day off on top of my weekend. I came back here and it was 3 days worth of packages. And people running around the office really panicked because they're getting all kinds of calls about how people haven't received their packages and nobody's delivering them. I took care of their 3-day problem in 4 hours. 4 hours. I delivered every package in that office. Every single one of them. 4 hours. Took care of a 3-day issue. And it's like, they make me feel like I'm welcome. The people who were appreciative of that in the office made me feel like they appreciate me and continue to show me that. And I appreciate them back. But there's enough resistance to make it so that it's still uncomfortable. And my comfort is not primary. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm deserving of some special treatment in regards to comfort. But again, if I do my job, get it done, you don't never have to sit up and say, are the packages getting where they're going? You ain't had nobody come up to you and say, Brandon put their package in the wrong door. Like, that's not a mistake that I've made since I've been here. You ain't gonna never hear nobody say, oh, my package just didn't show up. Brandon was responsible for it and now it just didn't show up. No. That shit happens when I'm not handling the packages. Packages go missing when I'm the one not delivering them. And it's like they're pushing me out the door. And it's like, yo, if you're doing this for reasons that don't have nothing to do with who I am, God, you're cutting your nose off to spite your own face. You guys are going to have so many package problems. So many. And it's like, yo, you were looking for a solution. The Lord blessed you with my presence. Let's just be honest. You brought somebody here to fix your problem. He's fixing your problem, and you can't do nothing but make him uncomfortable. I don't understand it, and that is the gist of it. I think some people just hate seeing other people comfortable. You know, again, if a 3-day problem in regards to 3 days worth of packages was taken care of in 4 hours and my shift is 8 hours, that means I'm sitting here a lot of the time. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I am. That's why I'm able to make these videos. But if packages show up, who's delivering them? Me. If we get a rush of 150 packages, you know who's gonna be doing them alone? Me. If we get 500 fucking packages over the next 5 days, you know who's delivering all of them? Me. But that's going to come to an end. That is coming to an end. I've enjoyed this. I actually like what I do physically, the job itself, delegating packages to where they go. My brain likes that kind of shit for some reason. I didn't know it until I got here, but I actually like this type of position. Even though it doesn't pay very well, I kind of like doing it. But it's got to stop. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. I'm sick of what feels like resistance for reasons that don't fit America and the energy that I put out. But anyway, that was a nice little therapy session. Thank you guys for listening to that. I'm going to have to get up and go do some unnecessary shit that I am not being paid to do right now. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out.